Okay, this is kind of a bonus video. We're not going to necessarily cover a music theoretical concept, but I sort of wanted to look at an actual piece of music and sort of show you how things that we've been talking about in the last two videos can become important and how they're actually used. One of the things that's always hard when you're teaching theory is it can seem like a game. Like that you're just playing a game with notes, that you always want your notes to follow the whole half pattern, or you always want, you know, your measures to line up with the, you know, with rhythms that equal the measure length. But actually looking at how music theoretical concepts are used can be really nice and fun to look at. So this is On the Beach at Night. This is actually the original choral version that I wrote for SS choir, soprano choir, just easy elementary school sort of level choir piece. Give me just a second to fix this slur, it's bugging me. This is one of my pet peeves, is terrible engraving, and I sometimes, okay, much better. Alright, let's listen. I'm just going to play by hand the first line-ish. I'm starting here. Sorry. Okay, so this is sort of our main theme here, this idea. And one of the things that I'm really proud about with this is the way that it uses scales. And what I've done is I've actually transposed this into C for us so that we don't have to worry about different key signatures. But if you take a look at what's actually happening here down in this part, so this is our melody up here. This is just... it's a nice melody, but I mean on its own, it's okay. But I think what really makes it sound great is the harmony, which actually follows a scalar pattern. Look at these chords. Take a look specifically at the lowest note of these chords. So if you look at the lowest note here, what do we have? A piece of an ascending C major scale. It's just C, D, E, F. And it's that rising line in the bass coupled with the melody that I think makes it work. Ba, 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 ba. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is as effective as a melody as it is. If I do say so myself. As we move on, we start to add some things that are outside the key signature. For example, if we look at Watching the East, we add this chord, which is from a totally different key. And then we come back to C, which is what makes that section a little bit more colorful, which is nice because it actually fits the text, autumn. We repeat the same melody, we do some syncopated versions of it, and then if you look over here, we switch into minor. Oh no, I'm changing the score. We change it to minor over here. This is where we get those big drums in the soundtrack version. Something like that. And if you notice, we kind of get rid of the scalar pattern here. The bass no longer follows it. It goes A, C, F, A, A. And the reasoning behind that is mostly that I just like it better, and we're in a new tonal center. A is now the tonic of our minor scale. But it's also because we don't want to have that same calm, beautiful feeling from before. We want to have something new and different. So to have that, we have a slightly more angular bass line here, coupled with this ostinato or repeated pattern, which I can still not play. Okay. So yeah, I mean that's sort of the way that the scales start to kind of manifest themselves in a piece of music, right? The more you can take a piece of music and sort of conform it to the scale, sometimes that's a really effective technique to have something that sounds calming and consonant, that everything's working together. This idea that the architecture of the melody is sort of falling, right? At the beginning, it starts here, goes to here, goes back up, and then back down, right? It sort of has this angular pattern in the top, but it's supported by a bass line that just rises to meet it, okay? That's the way you can kind of use that in a composition to sort of have that feeling. One of the best examples of the way scales show up in melodies is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Play it for you real fast. Once I had a theory professor tell me that is the most perfect melody ever written because it's just a scale. It's a scale that you don't even recognize as a scale. It goes from tonic, tonic. I'm going to use the solfege, which is just scale degrees. Do, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, da 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 da. It's almost indistinguishable, just a little decorated major scale, and that's what makes it sound so nice. So if you wanted something that didn't sound nice, major scale is not the way to go. I mean, if you try to write action music, I mean, it sounds too constant and pretty and happy. If you choose a bunch of notes that aren't in a major scale pattern, you could probably even use notes directly from a major scale. And you can get yourself, you know, with that more angular, rough action feel. So that's just sort of a little bonus about how these things start to sort of appear and work in music and how you can sort of use them in your compositions.